Alright, I'm doing a video of sci-fi books I want to read. I'm not much of a sci-fi reader in general. Because this is a channel of reading books and manga and writing, I figure I should really spread my knowledge of reading into different genres. Like, I just read romance, and that was interesting. So I was like, I read mostly, fantasy or horror novels. So I was like, I want to change it up, and I decided to make a list of 8 sci-fi books to read, or would like to read. And I'm actually gonna start one of those in August, so spoiler ahead. So I'm a pretty big fan of a lot of people on the booktube channel world. One of my favorite booktubers is Mike's Book Reviews, and this is his all-time favorite book for like sci-fi, and that's Dune. And so I put Dune on my list. I watched the movie, and I thought the movie was freaking awesome. I watched it, I think it came out in 2021, but that movie was so sick. It made me feel a real movie experience, if that makes sense. Like, it made me feel like, wow, it was like the first time I went to watch The Two Towers in theaters. Granted, I was like 7 when I watched the Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, but that felt so cool, especially Helm's Deep. And Dune Part 1 felt like the same experience. And I was told Part 2 is where all the action truly is. So I'm interested to see what happens with this movie. So to me, I'm like, I think I'm gonna try Dune. So I decided I'm gonna put Dune on my list. I don't know when. The movie comes out in November, so maybe in November I'm gonna read it before the movie. The movie comes out in the end of November, so if I read it at the beginning of November, I should be good. Should be. But yes, Dune is on my list. Dune's probably one of the first ones I want to read. But like I said, I have another book on the list that I'm gonna read before Dune, and that's gonna be next month. Now the next book, and I've been seeing this all over on YouTube, and I've been wanting to read it for a while, but now the hype on it is just unreal. And I think it's because the 7th book, or the 6th book, I think it's the 6th book, is coming out this month, and that is the Red Rising series. So I want to read Red Rising. I think Red Rising's gonna be sick. Every time someone explains Red Rising, they say it's just like the Hunger Games, except violent, and I'm like, alright. Now the Hunger Games, I didn't mind it. I think the first book of the Hunger Games is just awesome, and then book 2 is alright, and book 3 was just not that good. I think they ruined Katniss in book 3, just saying. But the Red Rising series, I hear nothing but good things, and it makes me happy to know that Pierce Brown has this book coming out, and already has planned the last book of the series to come out as well. So that makes it easier for me to want to actually read the series, because I don't know anything about it, because I refuse to watch any videos about it. I just see it all over, and I was like, I'm gonna give it a try. And when I go to Barnes & Noble, it's always there. I always see Red Rising, the Golden Age, Morning Star, Dark Age. I see all of them there every time. And I'm like, one day I will read these, and I'm gonna make it in August. So spoiler for, sadly, my TBR for August. One book of my TBR. But yeah, I would like to read Red Rising. I think it sounds really cool. And I watched the interview on Mike's channel of Pierce Brown. He just sounds like a really nice guy, and just how he is as a person just makes it seem easier wanting to read his books. And so that's why I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot. So the next book on here is one that I see a lot of people were reading about 2 years ago, and I bought the mass paperback of it for like $2, so it was a win. And I sat back and I was like, I think I'm gonna read it now, but I never have. I don't know why, honestly. I never know why I bought it. And then that's the problem. Like, when you buy these books, they just sit and they just rot on your shelf. Not really rot, but they never get read. So I decided I'm gonna try and actually read it. Like I said, so Dune's gonna be in like November. Maybe I'll read this in December. I would like to knock some of these down, especially because a lot of these are gonna be standalones. Granted, Dune is not standalone, but I can read just Dune and not have to read the rest of them if I really don't want to, because Dune was originally a standalone, which is nice. Same thing with this one. And that is Hyperion. So Hyperion sounds really interesting. All I know is the cover is just like a robot in a meadow, and I was like, what is this? But I was told like this book is like 4 guys around a fire, and they just tell stories essentially. And I was like, this is what I'm supposed to be interested in reading. And then after I thought about it, I'm like, that kind of does sound interesting. So I decided I bought it, like I said, for like $2, and I'm actually gonna start diving into it, because the premise of it sounds kind of cool, and it's different because it reminds me of like a fantasy book. Like, this was fantasy, this would be so normal. But since it's sci-fi, I'm like, I wonder what like is gonna happen now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm actually interested. And I was told like Hyperion is like one of the greatest sci-fi books of all time. It's like that and like Dune. And my sci-fi books I've read is John Carter of Mars, which is the first book I only read, which I really liked. So I kind of want to check all these out. So now this one, I've been seeing a lot of people talk about it, and I decided I'm going to try and give it a try. There's like 5 books, and I think it's supposed to be 7 books, and it's going to be the Sun Eater series. I don't know anything about it. I see interviews with Christopher Rocchio, and he just seems like a really nice, genuinely good person, which makes it easier for me to want to read his books. I don't know when I'll ever read them because they're really big. And I'm not like I said, I'm not like the biggest sci-fi guy, but I figured if I read a couple of these standalones and then like the Red Rising, which is much shorter books compared to the Sun Eater, I can ease myself into reading the Sun Eater, which I probably will. I'm going to try next year more than this year, because this year I already have a lot of things planned out, but next year I might start diving into more and more of sci-fi. But all in all, I don't know anything about it. I know Red Rising and Sun Eater both have lightsabers, but they're called different things, which is pretty cool if you ask me. So this sci-fi book, is a series that I have little knowledge about as well, but it's one of my favorite authors, and it's from one of my favorite fantasy series. So that's why I kind of want to read it. I have the first book. I haven't bought the other ones because they're all massive. And I know how this author writes, so like in my head, I'm like, dang, I gotta commit if I want to. And there's a local bookstore that I go to, and they have the other 3, so I'm so tempted. I might just say screw it and just buy them. I'm currently getting more bookshelves, and then I can put them on there and so on. The area I'm at right now is gonna be changed completely. So I kind of like this, though, I will say that. Anyways, so I am going to be trying to read the Other Land series. I think that's what it's called. I know the first book is called Other Land, so I don't know what the rest of the series are called. But it is from Tad Williams, who wrote Memory, Sorrows, and Throne, which is one of my favorite fantasy books of all time. That series is just so good. And with this, I like his writing style. He writes like it's so slow paced, but it's so detailed, and you just really feel like you're a part of that world. So I really, really want to try reading them. No idea when. Maybe I'll dive into that one in December or November. Who knows? But all in all, I would like to try it. It's 4 books. To my knowledge, it's only 4 books. And each one is a chunker. Each one's like 1,000 pages. And I'm like, holy crap. So it's going to take me a hot minute to actually read all of them. But yeah, I would like to try Other Land. Most of these books, like I said, I don't know anything about any of them besides Red Rising. Dune, I know enough with some parts of Dune. Never been spoiled. But to my knowledge, Dune is what inspired Star Wars, so which is pretty cool to know. So I would like to read what inspired, a lot of people say is like the greatest like movie franchise of all time. So I would like to check that out. Other Land, no idea what it's about, but it sounds cool, and I like the name Motherland. Or sorry, it's Other Land, not Motherland. I don't know why I was saying Motherland, but Other Land. The last 2 books, I'm gonna go with this one first. Now this one, I'm really up in the air about buying, especially because it's like 4 novellas and 1 standalone, and all the novellas are like $20 a piece for hardcover. No, it's like $25, I think. So I might just buy them on Kindle, because I don't feel comfortable spending $25 on a 100-page novella, especially novella, because you could buy like The Way of Kings, which I did, for like $30, and that's 1,000 pages. Anyways, so I might just buy them a novella and just read them that way. But that is gonna be the Murderbot series. I have no idea what it's about. I was told it deals with like a lot of depression, anxiety, and a robot likes to just watch television. That's kind of the knowledge I know of it. I don't know too much. I just know they're all really short. There's like 4 novellas, and I think there's 1 standalone. I don't know, but I hear hit or misses with this, and since they're so short, I can just read them as like, you know, just a palate cleanser from like a big, long, epic series, and I kind of want to do that, but I don't know too much about it. I just know they're all novellas, which is kind of nice. So the last one is a lot of people's like favorite sci-fi book, and I kind of want to check it out because when I hear this is like my favorite one, I kind of want to check it out in general. and it's the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and that just sounds wild. And I heard it's really funny, it's great, and it just sounds like a really good time, and I kind of want to check it out. I don't know anything about it. I just know the covers are always kind of like wacky, where it's like a green alien guy with his tongue sticking out. That's all I know. And I see that book everywhere. Every time I go to Barnes & Noble, I check out the sci-fi, I see Dune. I actually see all these books there. So, yeah, I don't even know why I named it just Dune, but I see literally all these books there. So, yeah, maybe I'll buy that one. Maybe I'll read that one, because I think it's just one book. I think, or maybe it's like a series, but like it started off as a standalone, and then it just went to a series like a lot of these books did. Most books do that if they're really successful. But yeah, that is my list of all the sci-fi books I would like to read. Now, I don't know when I will get into all these. Like I said, I plan on reading Red Rising in August. And then after Red Rising, I don't know when I'll read the other books. Because September, well, probably like September, but like October is my favorite month of the year. And that is spooky season. So usually my September starts off spooky season, and then it ends in October. So most of my spooky stuff is gonna be in for 2 months. So I might not be reading anything besides like scary stuff, which I'm hyped for. And yeah, make sure you guys look out for all my horror content, because I'm excited to do it. It'll be my first year doing horror content. But anyways, all these books, I'm actually looking forward to reading them. If you guys have any recommendations of other sci-fi books, let me know down below. Let me know which one of these 8 I should possibly try first. Should I try Red Rising first? Should I read Dune first? Should I read Hyperion first? Should I read Otherland first? Which ones should I read first? That would be actually kind of cool to see. But as also, thank you for making it to the end of this video, and make sure you guys check out all my links down below. And last but not least, make sure you guys stay safe, stay humble, and tell someone you love them. I'll see you guys in the next video.